This holiday season, we all wish for hope and healing. Children and families who spend their holidays at the hospital deserve a reason to believe in first steps, in giggles, high fives, and hugs. For 150 years, Children's National Hospital has provided world-class care and groundbreaking research. Please donate today to help patients and healthcare heroes this holiday season. Visit childrensnational.org/holiday. That's childrensnational.org/holiday.
Right Night is a talk show with published authors, writers, and content creators discussing both the creative and technical sides of writing, as well as the industry surrounding it, from novels to screenplays to comics and more. And now, here's your host, author Travis I. Sivart.
Welcome to Right Night. We'll get to the topic and discussion in just a moment. For those listening to the podcast, we record the podcast on our live stream at twitch.tv/Travis Tavern Talk, and we have a live interactive chat audience. You might hear the sound of the bell ding, and that means I want to interrupt somebody to read a comment or question. For those on the live stream, we won't read off everything you put in chat, but we'll try to get to the most relevant, the most amusing, or some combination of the both. Now, while we introduce ourselves, go and let us know what you're reading, writing, or creating tonight. Okay, and welcome to A Right Night. Tonight's topic is going to be the Hemingway Method, and we'll get to that in a moment. First, allow me to introduce myself, Travis I. Sivart, and let's see, what books am I going to talk about today? I don't know if any of this is Hemingway-ish in any of the senses, so I just guess I'll go with Journal of a Stranger is a series that I wrote that's a diary of a time traveler over, 75,000 years or so, past, present, and future. Now let's go ahead and let these other incredible writing fiends introduce themselves. Robert, let's start with you.
Hey, I am Robert Turk, author, game designer. That's me. You can find my stuff at wicked-clever.com.
And Aaron?
All right. Hi, Aaron Kennedy, author of Persona Non Grata, first of the Ships of the Valor series. Been a technical writer for 25 years. Jack of all trades. Electrician, heating and air conditioning. I do a little bit of it all. Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, Raven just said in the chat, I just finished ghostwriting contract number 26, so I'm celebrating, and that's fucking awesome. Oops, I swore.
Yeah,
I used a big one too. Yeah, it's a weird title for a book, but it sounds interesting.
It's actually a great title for a book.
Can't tell you what book it is.
Actually, contract number 26 would make an interesting title. And Jules says, I'm at work stocking supplies. I'm writing labels on bottles. Here's what I'll say. It's all writing. Yeah, it counts.
That's also a great name for a book, too.
Writing labels on bottles?
Writing labels on bottles. That would be under the Hemingway method, I think. Writing labels on bottles.
It also gets you kicked out of grocery stores, apparently.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
I always tell people that Amazon doesn't like it when I show up at the warehouse to sign my books. That's why they have to buy it from me in person, because then I can sign it. Otherwise, I got to go to the warehouse, and yeah, they kick me out.
See, I go to friggin' Books A Million, and I sign Alan Dean Foster's books. So much better.
There you go. I mean, I'll sign any book that somebody brings to me. I don't have to have written it. If they want my signature on it, why not? Checks, that's another story entirely.
Wait.
Somebody else's name.
On what?
On checks.
Checks.
Like if somebody brings me a check to sign, nope, I'm not signing that.
I'm sorry. I must have blanked out on it because it's been so long since anybody's used a check except for something from a government or a cereal box.
Yeah. Well, like rebates, you get rebate checks.
That's true. Oh, no, we get checks every once in a while, but sending them out. You know.
Right? Yeah. No.
Where is my checkbook? Junk drawer?
I know where mine is. It's under the corner of the couch, so I don't go chukunk, chukunk when I'm shoveling that huge thing of ice cream. Anyhow, so the Hemingway Method, which we originally were going to title What to Drink While Writing, and we went with this because at least it has a literary bent, and Hemingway was known for the quote. It was Hemingway. It wasn't Oscar Wilde, was it?
Another quote.
Write drunk, edit sober. Write drunk, edit sober.
I don't know.
Oh man, see, I've got it on like my rotation. I believe it's Hemingway. Oh man, it could have been Oscar Wilde.
It's attributed to him at least.
Which hymn? There's two hymns.
Hemingway.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's attributed
nope,
to him, but he says he didn't actually say it.
Yes.
There we go.
Actually, he practically said the opposite. He preferred to write sober.
And edit drunk.
Well, I guess so.
The words fit together so much better. It's Now, have you guys, either of you, just out of curiosity, read any Hemingway?
Yes.
Yes.
Couldn't tell you what, but yes.
What
He's up on my shelf with some other Irish poets.
Old Man in the Sea I've read.
Mhm.
Old Man in the Sea.
Been 20 years since I've read it, though.
So is there any...
And I believe...
Go ahead.
But it's been... I believe I was drunk when I read it, so...
So is college.
See,
no. Hey, I didn't graduate college 20 years ago. That's much more recent.
I think I read that one when I was a junior in high school. I also think I was drunk when I read it. No.
Strangely enough, the stuff they make you when you're in the classics they make you read when you're in high school, you're not going to appreciate until you're older. Things like Moby Dick and whatnot.
You're not.
Which is they got to stop that.
I tell you something I did enjoy in high school. They made us read The Good Earth. Are you familiar with this one at all? You guys should check this out. Basically, it's the story of a poor Chinese farmer and his wife, and she's kind of plain and all that.
Oh.
And then he rises to success to the point where he even's like a ruler of the area or the land, and he has, concubines. But I just remember the scene about the wife in the field as she's pregnant, and she waddles to the house, gives birth, washes, swaddles the baby, and goes back out to the field to work.
Yep. I do remember this one now.
In the end, and it just, even in 9th or 10th grade when I've read it, I'm like, this is an incredible book. And I remember in 9th grade reading Watership Down, and 12th graders like, oh, are you reading for so-and-so's class? And I'm like, no, I'm reading this because I like it. And they're like,
right.
Okay, you're one of those. But anyhow, so the Hemingway Method, in the reference we're making here, whether it's more myth or fact, is drinking while writing. And by the way, Raven says, read For Whom the Bell Tolls by Hemingway. And Jewel asked, did Hemingway write Farewell to Arms? I would have to Google it, but it sounds right.
You know what? I'm just going to pull up what did Hemingway write. Let's just see all of Hemingway.
Farewell to Arms is him, 1929.
I remember it well when it came out.
And yes, I do know that Hemingway is an American writer, but he is on my shelf with Irish poets.
Because it feels like whiskey.
Because it feels like that's where he belongs, right?
Understandable. I haven't actually read any of his, though I do either purchased or have it in my wish list, one of his audio books, figuring I should get one of his under my belt.
Yeah.
But I'd like...
Does he read
You
it
know
himself?
He is very much an audiobook kind of guy. Friggin' pipe, drinking, friggin' just kind of let it roll in the background on a lazy afternoon kind of deal.
That would be okay. It's, I'm curious about it because there's a reason they're the classics, and sometimes that reason is because there wasn't a lot out in that. Well, let's look at Bram Stoker, Dracula. That is not popular because it's an incredible piece of literature. It's popular because it was groundbreaking and not a lot like it out there.
Right. And I would say the first half of the book is pretty solid literature.
I enjoyed it a lot more when I got it on audiobook, and different voice actors did the different characters for the different diaries. And then it was a much better and easier experience because now you felt the character.
And without him, you'd have you wouldn't have Game of Thrones if you didn't have Bram Stoker, because he sets the tone of having the different POV characters.
Okay. He popularized it for his era, but a lot of storytelling before that time was done first person. Storytelling itself is often first person.
Oh no, absolutely the first person, but the jumping from point of view to point of view to point of view to point of view to give you a more comprehensive picture is what I'm referring to.
See, and this is what it's like if we were all drinking and trying to write. We never stay on one topic. We wander back and forth. Right. So let's shift us back towards that. First of all, do you gentlemen drink while writing?
Yes.
So I misunderstood the topic. So I'm going to throw it out there. And actually, yes, but not often alcohol.
Okay.
So I drink tea when I'm writing, at least during the day. I am more prone to drink whiskey if I am doing what I call slog writing or editing. And for me, slog writing is if I just have to sit at my computer for hours and hours and hours and write 100 descriptions for rooms or monsters, or it's almost technical writing, but you still have to be tapped into that creative side of your brain to make the descriptions, and I hate doing it. So I will sip whiskey to kind of smooth the edges off and get through that kind of writing. But if I'm actually doing creative writing, if I'm writing on a novel or short story, I will brew tea, and I will drink tea. And there's something about the ritual of making tea that puts me in the mindset to write.
See, and actually,
so
Robert,
that's actually what
I don't think you misunderstood it at all, because I do want to discuss the reasonableness, hold on, the cat one's on my lap, but not really sure. There we go. I want to go back and forth between alcohol versus non-alcohol, because they do both have their place, as you just pointed out, depending what kind of writing you're doing. But what about you, Aaron?
Well, so what I've got right here, this is it's a glass. It's a glass full of ice. It's got about that much Fireball, cheap cinnamon whiskey, and then it's topped off with ginger ale. It is a cocktail. It's got the alcohol hint is just enough to give you a little bit of warmth.
What do you call that, by the way? Is that called ginger balls?
It could be.
Okay.
Or I think jingle balls.
Spicy redhead.
But so I'll sip these. I'll sip these all day long as I'm doing this. But in competitive shooting, alcohol is a performance-enhancing drug. It slows the heart rate down, friggin' drops a lot of things out of the conscious mind and into the subconscious mind. So you're just tapping into a different resource. Now, should you mix guns and alcohol? No.
I was gonna say.
Is it effective? Yes.
Okay. Let me take that in another direction. When I play darts or pool, one drink, as Robert pointed out earlier, takes off those rough edges, that edge of nerves, and allows me to relax. And I'm guessing that's the performance enhancement you were speaking of.
Correct.
But
correct.
That makes sense.
If you're doing more than 1 ounce per hour or 1 beer per hour or whatever, there is a chance you might get a little sloppy and go all... I don't know, is it too soon to make that vice president reference?
What? Dick
No,
Cheney?
it's not too soon.
He looked like a turkey, sir.
So,
It is not too soon. Actually,
He got into my line of sight.
yes, Robert?
that reference is probably too dated at this point.
Yeah, I know. That's why I feel safe using it. Just with everything that's out right now, I'm just like, what's safe to make a dumb joke about? Now, for me... Oh, I'm sorry, Robert. Did you have something?
Well, no, I was gonna say, but like our snipers, right, in the armed forces, they're not sitting there sipping whiskey before they take a shot, are they?
No.
Okay. They're trained to do it without the alcohol.
Well, okay, so
They might have other drugs.
am a trained intel analyst, okay? I had a platoon of scout snipers. I am a qualified scout. I am not an operator. I do not make any claims to be an operator. Have never been an operator, okay? But
I do not have a license or shooting trophies for being an operator. I don't know. Operator.
I didn't say that.
I'm flashing back to the Matrix, where they call the operator to get out of the Matrix.
Yeah. No, I'm not a sniper. Qualified scout. I am very good shot. No, we are not sitting there drinking whiskey or anything like that. However, 2 beers will make you shoot better.
There you go.
Okay? Just a statement of fact. Now, 3 beers will make you shoot noticeably worse.
Now, I'm going to add to this real quick. 2 beers of a well-fit young person with a high metabolism. At my age, with my metabolism, better stop at 1 because I'm not processing that quick.
Right.
Well, okay, so pre-show, I was showing Turk here, friggin' my running of the 218 miler, the fact that I do 50Ks and stuff like that. My metabolism's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, yes, the point is made, sir.
Yeah, just, if somebody out there is like, I could do 2 beers and go. No. That is highly fit people who are processing like 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day without getting a gut at all.
Yes. Now, if you want to drink 2 beers and write your masterpiece, go for it. But don't come back and blame drank 2 beers and went shooting. Don't come back and say, oh well, Writer's Right told me to go do that. No.
Okay, so as for me and drinking when writing, I like you guys. It kind of depends what I'm drinking, but I try to definitely maintain a low edge, kind of what I've been alluding to with the pool and the darts and the firearms and everything else is too much, and I get sloppy, and it shows in any of these activities. Mind you, I have never drank and shot yet.
That you remember.
That anybody has any evidence of.
So I also find kind of the same thing that because I'm a sculptor and a painter, not like painting miniatures and leather masks. When I used to make leather masks, not like painting portraits, but sipping alcohol
And running chainsaws
sipping alcohol while doing that, while sculpting especially, it helps you. It loosens up your hand, and
right?
And it helps.
In this changing world we're in, something else I want to point at is with the legalization of marijuana and marijuana products, CBD, which is quite often used for minor pain relief as well as anxiety relief. I suspect, again, know your dosage. Don't take too much to where it makes you loopy or whatever. But enough to take that edge off might do the same thing and last a lot longer with a lot less.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't know the first thing about it.
I actually did a lot of research, and it wasn't legal in this state that I live in at that time, so I didn't experiment much. But when I visited other states, I did, and I looked into it. And what I found is 20 milligrams of CBD, broad spectrum if anybody's keeping track. It's like the equivalent for 1 drink, but it seems to last, it takes about 20 minutes to kick in, and it seems to last 4 to 6 hours. And then suddenly you kind of feel that nagging, that niggling, that worry, that anxiety that you don't even realize you carry when it's gone. You don't notice it till it comes back. Then you're like, hey, there that is. And that's without any, woo, I'm high. Aaron, what were you going to say?
No, and just a note for the folks that are listening out there, friggin' CBD is the non-psychoactive
Correct.
chemical, whereas THC is the psychoactive. That's the one that gives you a high.
Right.
CBD, has never used it, never had an interest in getting altered. But CBD, relaxant, lots of benefits out there, studies galore, still federally illegal. And I leave it at that.
Not federally illegal.
It's cannabinoid. Controlled Substances Act, Schedule 1.
I can walk into a dozen stores within 10 miles of me.
Yes. Yep. The state law is in conflict with the federal law.
Yep.
For that.
It is ignored.
Yep.
Okay.
Cannabinoids are federally illegal. But yes.
We bring this up, and historically speaking, lots of great authors, lots of great filmmakers, lots of great musicians, lots of great artists have a substance abuse problem.
Right.
And but they're great creative thinkers. And so I've often wondered, like, do I just need a substance abuse problem? Is that what I need to really make a masterpiece
At Capella University, education is as smart as the world around us. With the FlexPath format, you can take classes at your own pace, set your own deadlines, and even leverage your previous experience to move faster. Now that's smart. Learn more at capella.edu.
With MailChimp, you get a whole lot more than a URL. You get an all-in-one marketing platform to help drive sales. That means you can connect your data to make more informed, smarter decisions. And you get powerful automation tools like our Customer Journey Builder to ensure you never miss an opportunity to turn shoppers into loyal customers. So if you're ready to integrate your marketing and boost sales, get started today at MailChimp.com/smartmarketing. MailChimp, built for growing businesses.
And then I think about my family, and I'm like, no, I really don't want a substance abuse problem. There's a reason that there's problem.
Robert,
but
I think you're creative enough that you don't need it.
Right, but think about how much I could do if I was just hiring a damn kite all day on LSD.
Which Enlighten mentions that McCartney was a proponent of LSD, and he gave us a lot of hit songs with the Beatles. Pick your poison of mind-altering products for creativity. And that's what else I was going to say. And Aaron, did I see you wave your hand? I see you making faces.
You did. You did. Well, okay, so you make an interesting point in regards to, hey, people with the substance abuse and things like that. Arthur Conan Doyle, friggin' Sherlock Holmes. Okay? Right. Sherlock Holmes was a cocaine addict. He doesn't make any qualms about it. He talks about it in the novel. Oh my God, cocaine is amazing.
Yeah.
That is a paraphrase, if not pretty close to a direct quote.
But now, Sherlock Holmes is fictional. Conan Doyle probably was experimenting with it. But...
Oh, I have no doubt. Because why would you put that out there if it wasn't? Now, you've got these things that are out there, and they're there. And it's one of those, okay, hey, these guys that are doing this stuff. Han Solo was a drug runner for spice. I mean, these are all pieces of fiction and things like that. And I don't want to use the word counterculture because it's not counterculture, it's culture. It's people get altered to pursue creative arts. Whether it's alcohol, cannabinoids, friggin' things that are on the controlled substance lists, pipes, the smells, things that trigger things. The smell of a book is a triggering device. Pipe smoke. Friggin' I love the smell of or just opening a window to get the smell of outside. all of these things that trigger our senses or make our senses more hyper aware are there for a reason.
Right. Raven just brought up a really good point on the Twitch chat. Says, I think most creative people are battling ADHD, depression, PTSD, or anxiety, which comes with the territory of thinking deep thoughts. And if you are dealing with those things, I'm paraphrasing now, but if you are dealing with those things, it makes sense that you're going to turn to self-medication, not so much as a creative driver, but as a way to manage your demons that come with being a creative thinker.
Something Andrea pointed out recently is she's listening to Craig Ferguson's kind of autobiography on audiobook, which is read by him, and she's enjoying it, and she's looking at his broken childhood, broken family, broken home, the rough shit he went through. And she's like, there's a lot of comedians that went through very bad things, and this feels right along with everything you just said there, Robert, that you were quoting and paraphrasing from Raven. Aaron, what do you have?
So Turk made a couple great points in regards to the PTSD, or excuse me, Raven did in regards to the PTSD and all this. You go back to the late 90s, 2000s. Under Siege 2 with Steven Seagal. Great movie because it's so horrible, but it delivers exactly what you expect. There's a quote in there where you hired a madman to make things like that, and they go, well, sane people don't make things like this. It's the creative mind is what's required to make crazy things. And that's part of what we're looking at.
Yeah. Yep.
It is.
Yeah.
So when we're...
Now,
go ahead.
Well, I was going to point out, like, this is my vice right there. It is black tea, ginger, orange, peach. So if you're out there listening and you want something to get you in the mood to write, but you don't want to do LSD or cocaine or heroin like Craig Ferguson, yeah,
actually,
you can pick up some really nice teas.
Let me point this out. Part of all these things we're talking about, whether it's alcohol or nicotine or whatever, there is a routine that goes with it. There is a ceremony that goes with it. Preparing the ice, preparing the glass, opening that bottle. Aaron mentioned, I think it was Aaron, mentioned opening windows, those smells coming in. These are all things to put you in a place. It's a form of meditation. So this is something you can look at when you're writing, making this tea. It's putting your head in that right place, and that ritual of focusing on these are the steps I do to do that. I smoke a pipe, and that quite often helps keep me busy in the dips between writing impulses, so I don't get up and leave my table and go start cleaning a bathroom.
Right?
Well, and that's part of why I do it. It's one of those, if I'm sitting at my desk for too long, I will actively go look for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that ADHD thing, and I don't have ADHD. I'm not going to...
Wait, you don't have, or you weren't diagnosed?
I don't have.
Okay, you've been tested.
I've got other things wrong with me, but I don't have ADHD.
I suspect I may, as well as somewhere on the autistic spectrum, but I've just never been to a doctor to check. And I asked about it recently, and my doctor's like, great, you'll have to go to this series of psychological... I'm like, you were done talking. Because it doesn't matter at this point in time. I've built my coping mechanisms, if it's there. And, I can put...
If you are actually coping.
Right.
That's the thing. If you're not, then you might want to go through the...
Right.
Or smoke another pipe.
Right. And for me, I am. I get up and go to my day job. I can sit down and write a novel in 3 hours. Wait, no, that's cocaine, not the coping. My bad.
3 hours. That's...
I come back with much shorter fingers. They're just like little bloody nubs.
Right.
You gotta buy new keyboards.
Waterproof. Zazzle. Sorry, Cap. I'm trying to get into the room behind me. Okay, so I'm kidding. I cannot afford cocaine on my salary. Even in the 80s when I lived in South Florida and was working 3 jobs. Who the fuck? Thank you. Thank you, Raven.
Yeah. Thank you, Raven.
Why don't you cheat on your wife? Because I can't afford a mistress. What the hell are you talking about?
It's that's why I got married, so I could quit taking them out. It's what?
So I had 2 other thoughts. One,
yes.
This is really good heroin. And 2,
no. One, it's not only making the tea that keeps me writing, it's putting it in one of these, in a Tervis, because you can sip it, and this thing will keep it warm. Specifically, the Tervis brown. This will keep it warm for several hours. The other nice thing about drinking while you're writing or while you're sitting at your desk, tea is a diuretic, coffee is a diuretic. It's going to make you get up from your desk and at least walk to the bathroom and back. And unless you're one of those extreme World of Warcraft players that has the catheter and all of that, but most of us writers can't afford that either. So
it's true.
Yeah. So you will have to take those breaks when you're writing and drinking tea, or actually probably if you're drinking whiskey too.
Yeah, it's a diuretic also.
Yeah.
Yeah, often causes dehydration when you know. So make sure you drink water while drinking diuretics, which is true. There you go. But yeah. Tervis is a great brand. The catheter and bedpan, or you can get those big bird trays you put underneath bird cages, like big parrot cages, and then just don't wear pants, and you just have to wash it out every couple days.
Yeah, but what do you like? Then you have to have a standing desk, or I mean,
no, like, you just have don't have a cloth chair.
Right? Is there a chair with a hole in it?
All the ones we had at school, remember those? A hard plastic with the holes in them, like it was drains for kids that were gonna pee themselves.
I mean, with a wrench or whatnot, you can just steal a toilet from a restroom on a freaking road stop.
We've got,
and then use that as a chair.
There you go. John from Conquest Publishing says he likes adult diapers, but that's because John is really old. So he's been writing and illustrating for a long time.
Okay,
so.
I'm going to tangent here. I work with a young lady who is pregnant, and she says, I have a weird question for you. I'm like, just the kind of question I always like. She's like, so we were going to do the baby shower, and they have a game where you melt different candy and chocolate bars in a diaper, and then people have to guess what candy bar it is by sniffing it. She's like, what do you think about this game? I'm like, well, I'm kind of fucking amused. And then I started suggesting which one. She's like, Snickers. I'm like, no, not Snickers. The peanuts give it away. You want something that you can have very distinctive by smell. For example, you could not use Almond Joy because the coconut's just a dead giveaway what that is.
Right.
Now, where I'm going with this is John says, I like adult diapers. I'm just picturing the baby shower, but at the other end of the age spectrum.
Well, okay, now, and I'm just remembering buying diapers going, fuck, why would you waste that kind of money on a game?
Diapers can be expensive.
That's a fair point.
Get expensive. Yeah, why would you? No.
That's a fair point right there. Yeah.
That's one of the things you get at a baby shower is free diapers. And it's not because you're going to use them to melt candy bar. First of all, diapers are expensive. Second of all, that's a waste of a candy bar.
That's true.
Right.
Well, I mean, you could eat it out of the diaper later and then wear the diaper for fun.
That's the second game.
On your head.
Oh, wow. This show, I told you, let's do this one to warm up because we just went off the rails and jumped the shark and all of it.
Totally.
You hope it's chocolate, Joe.
By the way, to clarify for those listening to the podcast, Joe says, dude, that's a messed up game. What do you win? Do you get to lick the chocolate out? And that's what Aaron is responding to, instead of just random Aaron shouting things out there. A retirement party with big ones. That's a good idea, Raven. What, Aaron?
Oh, I don't remember.
You said which is?
3.5.
I should have been drinking tonight.
I picked the wrong night to stop doing glue.
Yeah, well, because I made the tea for the episode, but I also realized, because I really like this tea, it's key lime tea. It is not good for talking. It's great for writing. It's got 60 milligrams of caffeine in it, but something about the key lime makes it more challenging to talk.
Probably the acidity of the lime.
Yeah, that's why I had to go get the water. And I'm thinking, why didn't I just do the whiskey?
So you dropped acid? Lime acid.
I've never dropped acid.
You've dropped acidity.
Now, that said, if you're going to do whiskey, pick up this. It is amazingly smooth.
Uncle Nearest?
Yes, Uncle Nearest.
Well, maybe we should talk about that for the last few minutes that we've got. Do we have a few minutes left?
Absolutely. No, we got about 5 minutes before we go up into wrap-up mode. So,
okay.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, like what kind of whiskey we drink when we're writing. Like Aaron's pointed out his Uncle Nearest.
So friggin' year
and
before
Fireball.
last. Well, I've got the Fireball. The Fireball is a cheap mixer. Okay, it's great. It's readily available. You don't feel bad mixing it with crap. You can put it in everything. But if I want to drink good stuff, a couple years back, I was at a whiskey business, a charity event, and they were kind enough to give open bar, and the Uncle Nearest, which is a damn smooth whiskey. It is my current choice because I can't afford Mortok 18, which is about $200 a bottle. Yeah. Well, friggin', my son's not gonna get an inheritance because I will have drank it all. But he can light my casket on fire and keep his house warm forever.
Yeah, I would say so. I actually change up my whiskey depending, one, what I can afford, but two, what I'm writing. My character Ganderson Chagami, you can't see him back there in the shadows. He drinks Jameson, and the first time I actually drank Jameson was I knew Ganderson drank it, and I needed to write a passage where he was drinking Jameson. I'm like, you know what? I've never had it. So I went out and bought a bottle so that I could drink it and describe the taste and the mouthfeel of it as the character. So if I'm writing in Gandersnitch's voice, I'll drink Jameson. If I'm just writing and I want to be mellow to write, it's usually Jack Daniels. That's actually one of my favorites. Though I will often get Crown Royal for Christmas, or I think it's Suntory. It's a Japanese whiskey, which is really good. I'll get those as gifts, and if I've got those, hell yeah, I'll drink them. But my most recent favorite, and I like the Jack Daniels usually. That's my go-to, and Jack Daniels, the honey one, you got to keep it in the refrigerator because it's got to be ice cold. I like that, sipping on that. But I discovered the peanut butter whiskey, Screwball peanut butter whiskey, and it's delicious. Give it a try.
I'm now thinking for the adult diaper game at the retirement party, instead of chocolate bars, maybe you could just pour different whiskeys into diapers and try to figure which one it is by smell.
Yeah.
Shut your whore mouth.
You might be able to wring it out of those little blue things.
I think you should just use like mashed up vegetables. What was that? That was cream spinach. What was that? That was squished.
That's a different game where you're blindfolded and you have to taste different baby foods and see if you can guess what you're eating.
Oh, I was thinking old people food, but baby food would work too.
It's the same
tomato,
stuff.
Tomato. Yeah.
Yep.
Huh.
Oh, drink
now,
your drinks.
They have like loot crates that have whiskey in them, like samplers of the month. They come with a little friggin' bottles about yay big.
I almost did one of those whiskey advent calendars this past year.
I didn't know months only had 3 days in them.
But yeah.
Very good.
I have nothing more.
Okay.
I have nothing more.
Do we have some closing thoughts on this topic? Did we have a topic? There was a topic in here somewhere?
Was there a topic?
I don't know. We talked about
episode
Hemingway
even
and
terrible?
drinking. Hemingway, he had a kick-ass beard too, right?
He had an okay beard.
Oh, okay. I mean, it was before friggin' mustache wax was invented, so
Mustache wax was
he killed
invented like
himself.
in Egypt. He killed himself. He did. So
With a shotgun.
right, he may have been drinking during that, and it may have improved his accuracy from what Aaron is saying. Is this too soon?
Yeah. But Hemingway shooting himself. I think that one. And if that's a spoiler to you folks, sorry. That's no.
But yeah, he did have a crazy life.
Closing thoughts.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Closing thoughts. I think it's not even so much what you're drinking. It's finding that ritual, finding that whatever it is that you do to put yourself in the frame of mind to write what you need to write or want to write. For me, it's making tea, and it puts me in that frame of mind. So I make the tea and I sit down with my tea, and it's time to write. And going through the steps preps my brain to tap into that creative muse and start writing words. If it's the whiskey or the wine or the cocaine or whatever to take the edge off that gets you into that creative frame of mind to write, great. And if you need a couple of beers before you go shooting, maybe rethink that choice. But a couple beers before you sit down and write, go for it.
Aaron?
Find something you like. Freaking create a ritual. Doesn't matter what the ritual is, but something that's going to key the mindset to get you in that modality. And whether it's sit down and prep the thing, and go from there. Open the window, make the pipe, sit, type, reread the previous works, and just be ready.
There you go. Think you guys said it all well enough. Not much more I need to add. Let's wrap this up, and we'll catch you again soon, folks. Say goodbye to the crowd.
Bye, crowd.
There we go. And I'll do the outro.
Before we go, I want to remind everyone that you can email us at writenightshow@gmail.com. That's right with the W, night with an N, show@gmail.com. To let us know your thoughts on the show's topics, suggest other topics you'd like to hear us discuss, or just have a message read out on air to someone in your life. Thanks to everyone for supporting the show by downloading the podcast, sharing it on social media, grabbing some shirt stickers and mugs from bit.ly/tavern merch, or barware patches and hats from bit.ly/tavern merch too. It's bit.ly/tavern merch or tavern merch followed by the number 2. Thanks to everyone who joined us live at twitch.tv/Travis Tavern Talk, and everyone who supports the tavern by subscribing, hosting, throwing bits, raids, and most of all, commenting.
Thank you for joining author Travis I. Sivart and the other writers, content creators, and all-around amazing people for our discussion here on Right Now. Join us again soon, and until you do, make sure you create with passion, enjoy the journey, and remember, every night can be right now.
Sling TV, built to save you money and bring you the channels you love, including ESPN, AMC, HGTV, and more. Watch your favorite comedies, dramas, suspense thrillers, news, sports, and more for just $35 a month. And your first month is only $10. Sign up now and start streaming right away on your TV, phone, and tablet. Take control of your TV solution with Sling. It makes TV flat out better. Go to sling.com to sign up now and get your first month for just $10.